Hello, welcome back to the podcast. It is so wonderful to connect with you right now. Oh my gosh, we are going to do two things today. First, I want to address the energy that is abounding right now. So, some folks have noticed a bit of a buzzing or a bit of a fervor or a spike in holding this creative energy that we have. And I myself have noticed it. I'm like the Energizer Bunny right now, and where I'm at in my cycle and all that, I wouldn't normally be this way. And I asked my guides about this. I was like, am I going to crash out? They said, no. They said this energy, they called it a new energy, is here to sustain us. It's to sustain creativity, it's to sustain joy. And what it's teaching me, because I think for the last 8, 7, 8, 9 nights in a row, I've gone out and met up with friends or family. In fact, 2 nights in a row, I've gone to two different friends or family member houses in a row. And I don't think you guys understand. I would normally do that twice a week. So I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? Here's the deal. It's not just about this energy that's a buzz for a lot of people right now. It's who are we when we have this energy? So the old version of us maybe would go really hard or wait until we crash out or wait until we're tired to take the break. And what I've been noticing in myself and what my guides taught me is, but who are you now with all of this energy? So, for example, I was running some errands this morning and I was just really hyped up and excited about life, which is fun. Nothing in particular, right? But no news is good news, as Helga says. And I was just, feeling myself, feeling the things, buying cat food and whatever. And I felt myself pause for a moment and I thought, okay, this is great, but also let's take a deep breath, make sure we're present. And then it happened again. I was getting ready to see my hairstylist, who I absolutely adore. We have so much fun together. And again, I was like, why am I? I was like, I'm not going to rush. I'm like, I'm just going to relax. So it's this energy of sustainability. So I'm excited about it. I'm also excited about it because I don't know if you've been hearing it all in my messaging or other beautiful intuitives who bring this work forward by means of messages and forecasts and whatnot, but not only have we been understanding the cycle and the process of healing, how to recognize areas of ourselves that desire to be more deeply looked at, then there comes this point where it's like, well, what's next? So now I know how to heal, and then we learn how to create with energy, and then we get to a point where we say, well, how do I want to be captivated by my life? How do I want to really enjoy and feel like I'm blossoming throughout my life and my journey? So that's the stage that many people are entering into. Now, keeping in mind as humans, we all, thank goodness, it's like waves on a beach, right? A wave comes before us and a wave comes after us. So everybody's riding in a little bit of a different wave, but collectively, it's a big one right now. And the other final piece to all of this is I am seeing and noticing and hearing and experiencing there's been a really big shift in the online space. And the way that I'm interpreting this with spirit is it's almost like online, not everybody, but maybe some people are kind of shouting, right? And I'm seeing a lot of people start to complain that the online space isn't what it used to be, meaning like they're not getting as much traction in their business. And I'm like, well, that's interesting because I look at my own business and how I've been called to pivot and I've been trying different things out, exploring that human side of myself. And I'm realizing like, no, I was like, I'm connecting with more people. I'm feeling myself in my voice even more, which has been such a journey. And it just made me realize I really think that the authenticity people talk about at a surface level, so many people have very genuinely been practicing in their own personal life. And I think that's what's starting to come through. And I think that's what people are connecting with. So, very, very beautiful thing. I really do believe, when people complain about, social media or the algorithm or the this or the that. It all comes back to ourselves. We make our own choices and we don't need to get down on ourselves for those choices. We can just recognize the patterns that don't work for us and continue to choose differently. And then one day that habit changes. But I personally choose to approach social media with a lightheartedness, with a fun. I cannot get over the incredible value and beauty of some of these food recipe videos people create. I've learned some incredible life-changing wellness aspects of it, right? Like when I was introduced to Dr. Mindy Peltz years ago and so on. So there's so many good parts. So I guess this is a little bit of a tangent, but if for you, for some reason, social media has felt like something you're like one foot in, one foot out, make it your own, make it for yourself in whatever way feels right for you. Could be business, could be personal, could be both. All right. So I was in my morning. You know how the guides have also been talking a lot through this podcast about our mind and what it's doing. And I feel like I've been retraining mine for years now and really taking it seriously in the last 12 to 16 months. And our mind, well, our energy is one of our greatest power. So is our mind. And what I have found is that when I wake up in the morning, or, sometimes we don't always wake up the same way, when I make it a point in my day to intentionally do the energy work, the meditative work, but also the mind work, even if I only do the mind work for a few minutes, sometimes it's a few minutes, sometimes it's longer, it has a distinct and prolific positive impact on my life almost immediately. And I've seen that compounding day in and day out, week in and week out. And it's also making me realize just how powerful energy work is when we ground it into the human experience. All that being said, so I'm in my energy work meditation this morning, and this cool thing happened with my energy field, and I get to share it. So, and I'm going to walk you through it too. So, you know how when we're kind of getting introduced to energy work, we hear about cord cutting, and we're like, yeah, cord cutting sounds about right. And then as we learn more, we realize it's about cord healing versus cutting. And what they showed me, I'm going to walk you through. And imagine yourself, your beautiful, beautiful, exquisite self attached to your soul, right? We've got that beautiful connection. But also imagine all of the other connections you have, which is crazy. And I'm talking about like, your name, who you are right now on this earth plane, not your soul, like not all of your soul's connections, but think about just you, all of the connections you have. I'm friends with a couple of gals that work at my local grocery co-op. Freaking adore them, and they're buddies of mine. Or I think about, a comedian I follow where, we have little chats here and there online, or of course, all my loved ones, past boyfriends, like you name it, right? I mean, ooh, like we all have a list, don't we? So just imagine all those connections. Ooh, wee baby. Well, you're connected to your light, so you're feeling all those connections. And I want you just to kind of gently notice, either with your sensing and feeling, kind of feel into all those different connections for a moment. Remember, you're connected to your light first. We always connect with our inner light first. Hello, inner light. Please run divine energy for me for my highest good. So I know I offer that reminder a lot in this podcast, but you'd be surprised at how many people who have never heard of the inner light framework pop in here. So some of you are like, are you kidding me? Emily, I could write your book on the framework. And then there's others who are like, the frame what? So it's always just a good reminder. Plus, I like to let people know that I, as a practitioner, this is the foundational thing that I use no matter what. Okay, so we've got all that, and now you're going to feel into all these connections. And the biggest message here is not to take all healing too seriously or too heavily. So what we want to do is just think, oh, you know what? Sometimes I just give myself a little shush, a little zhuzh, zhuzh, a little sip sap of energy work, and that's okay. We do all different types and levels of energy healing or emotional healing or whatever kind of healing in our lifetime, right? And sometimes we're just there for a little bit of boop boop, rah rah. So you're feeling into all of these, but remember you're connected to your light. And I started seeing this as like a beautiful golden octopus. And for me, all the tendrils were different depths and some slightly different shapes. And some, of course, were beautiful, sparkly gold, and others were a little bit more faded, almost look like ghosts and everything in between. So I know some of you see or perceive energy, and some of you more of a feeling or sensing or knowing. So just kind of feeling into all, just like feeling all of these different connections. And remember, you're in your light. So you're not here to be trained, and we're not here to robustly go down a road of fixing things either. We're just kind of allowing our lights to be. And we're going to breathe in, and we're just going to remember that we're connected to source energy, spirit, whatever that is for you. And taking this moment to, in fact, say, I set the intention that through all of my connections and interactions that currently exist, all of these beautiful tendrils, these cords that are, that the ones that no longer need to be gently fade away, that the ones that are here for me and I for them, I call in all of the love and all of the light to support and guide us both. And any of my other connections, may they be intentional and loving both ways. That is my intention for all of my connections. I send all love. I feel my self love. I feel my light. I breathe all of them light. Taking another moment in, allowing yourself to relax a little bit more. This may feel a certain way in your energy field or your body. You may not notice a thing. You may notice a gentle shift. For me, this one feels pretty strong in my energy field. It's like, whew, okay, we're shifting some things. And relax and breathe. Oh, such beautiful work. Such beautiful work. I am currently taking on private mentorship for I keep wanting to say two and spirit keeps saying three. So I guess there's three of y'all. It'll be for November, and then we're gonna pause in December, and then January, February, and at least one of you is gonna do a 6 to 12 month option. So um, but if you're interested in that, and then also, so my book, Your Energy First, and the Magic Accelerator have shown up in this beautiful way to blend together into a live cohort. I'm going to teach, it's going to be an ongoing way for intuitives, professional intuitives to connect with one another, engage, and develop their own spiritual practices and their abilities to see energy, perceive energy, taste energy, sense energy, intuit messages clearly. And there's going to be a few aspects. I think this is going to have a house clearing and energetic mediumship extension, but what I'm actually waiting for is the green light. I've got to get this program up and going. Yeah. And then for the business program, man, anyone who's been following this podcast, I hope that in my journey, you've gotten to witness this evolution, that it gives yourself permission to create and evolve and not wait to create. Because what I'm really feeling called for this next round of the business program is um, it's funny. So we're actually going to include some spiritual fasting as a part of the process. And it's going to be each person's going to be self-guided in that regard, but it's more going to be a community where we can talk about how our physical body and our energy responds to that and our business and how we're physically feeling called to show up for our work. Because as a professional intuitive, that's such a big thing. Um, but it will not be a requirement that people do that. It's just going to be one of those things that's going to be very talked about. And it's this soft business era. And it's about how are you feeling called to share your work? What does that look like for you? And how can you continue to create and grow and expand in your business in a way that is true to you? Because if it's not true to you, you won't do it. So for some people, it's going to mean kind of like bigger things, but not bigger in a better sense. And then for others, it's going to be much more of a, cultivation. So the point is it's in the spirit of community, it's in the spirit of networking, it's in the spirit of having very real conversations about what it's like to be professional intuitive out there in today's world. And there's very much going to be tactical advice, talking about systems, talking about best practices. One of the things I'm so excited about everything that's been coming in with AI, and Meta has made huge changes to their ads, which you guys, people are freaking out, and I'm like fist pumping back here because everything I am witnessing from the software systems on the back end to how Meta is updating ads and what people are relating to online, everything is leaning towards people just want to they just want to like feel good, we either want to giggle or we want to learn something or we want to feel insightful or inspired by something, and that's not too much to ask. So these old ways of doing business are the guides are just saying it right now, slipping away. Yay, slipping away. So growing your intuitive business is another huge aspect of the spiritual journey. And that's actually going to be a private group container, and I'll take on a few private clients for that as well. So, yeah, if you're interested in any of those things, if any of them sound good, the other thing, I have a program. So, I am no Marie Kondo, but I do understand and believe in the energy of things and the energy of our home and space. And feng shui is obviously an ancient art, a beautiful ancient art. And a couple months ago, I was tired of cleaning out and organizing my house again. And I was like, well, why don't I apply energy work to it? And so I did. And what I found was that the change was permanent. It was not challenging emotionally, it was not challenging physically because I used energy work and I used my intuition. So, to that sense, I would clean out and organize aspects of my space. It took me no time at all. And I had zero qualms about donating things or getting rid of things. So, where I think sometimes, especially when we're empathic and we have to clean out a lot of stuff, it's like our energy goes, won't. Like, I'm so tired, I can't finish. And this isn't that at all. So that program is out. It's just it's a awesome audio and a booklet I wrote. AI didn't write it. AI will help me edit, but only for grammar. So yeah, that one is called How to Organize Your Home for Good. And just to be clear, it's not how to organize. I need you to rely on like the Marie Kondos of the world for that. But it actually walks you through the process of how to do energy work prior to you organizing so that the organizing process is more simple and straightforward for you and permanent. I was looking for something that was a permanent system for me. That's what I needed because and it's, I mean, it's been for I don't know how many months now that I've been doing it, and I'm still in awe that everything, like I can see my habits have changed, my thoughts have changed around it, and I do address what to do if live with Oscar the Grouch. Just kidding. Kind of. I mean, if you live with Oscar, you live with Oscar. You got to move around Oscar, basically. But there are you'll basically learn how to do this in a way that is sustainable for you, and that's what we want, right? Okay. You know, hang on a second, as I'm holding energetic space for us right now. You know what's interesting? A clearing just happened, and it feels like it came through our noggin. And what was really interesting is this energy was false authority, false authenticity. And, authenticity is a bit of a buzzword, but you know what I mean when I say that here, just us being ourselves. And it's interesting because we all want to connect with one another better. And in order to do that, we have to be our own authority and connect with self really, really well. And then more naturally, we find ways to, again, naturally connect with other people in such a more grounded, genuine way. So, woo, hello, there we go. No big deal. No big deal. Look at you, just energy healing like a rock star here. All right. Thank you so much for being here, being in this community. We're 3 years into this podcast. It's wild. My intuition is, we're still moving with it. I think things are going to be slightly different next year, but I'm really excited about it's a slight little change. it'll change. Don't too crazy, but I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it. All right, and I will still have activations, and I will still do interviews and have friends and colleagues on to talk about different things because I think that part's so important. So, to your power, to your light, to feeling rest just because you want to do it, to enjoying the leaves on the trees, to enjoying anything that brings you happiness today. Bye. It has been so great to connect here. If this episode resonated with you, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who you want to have more of these chats with. As you move throughout your day, remember, your energy is your superpower. As you pay attention to it and trust it, you can watch your entire life begin to transform.